What is up, everybody? Man, it's already February. Yannick, cool. So you're from Germany, huh? Well, hopefully you're doing, something productive during lockdown, and hopefully, you know, the mental strain isn't getting too much from you. Yeah, it is the best sport, Yannick, cool. And, obviously when the courts open up in your hometown in Germany, hopefully you're going to be playing tennis almost every single day. I know the European culture takes tennis as more definitely like, a more serious sport than Americans. So I do got to visit Europe one of these days. I've never been to any part of Europe. So before I settle down and get married, if that's in my life path, that's definitely something I have to do. Hey, Cats Mike, how are you doing? Cormac, you're asking what program do I use to edit? What program do you sue? I'm assuming use. So Cormac, you're asking, yeah, what program I use to edit my videos? I use Adobe Premiere CC, which is part of the Adobe Creative Cloud suite. So I do have a full subscription to the Adobe Creative Cloud. So when I post my memes on Instagram, I do use Adobe Photoshop, which is a little bit different because I'm not a photographer. I'm a software engineer, and then my background is actually in business finance. Oh, I forgot to shave today. Yeah, sorry. So Adobe Premiere Pro CC. Yeah, good. Indoor courts are open. Yeah, I mean, tennis is a very social distance sport, especially singles. So I'm glad you could play indoor tennis. Is it where you're from, Yannick? Cool. Is it pretty cold right now? I don't know the geography of Germany too much, unfortunately. The strings. What do you mean? Tyler Bowie? I apologize if I'm saying that wrong. You're asking what strings am I using? What's up, Saria? I am stringing with the ISO-speed baseline control for a client, and I use for my match play. I think I am using ISO-speed baseline control for my match play. I'm torn between ISO-speed baseline control, the Selenko Hyper-G, and the Selenko Confidential right now. Tyler, you're asking how do I deal with nerves and pressure? To be honest, a lot of it is practice. You know, you're constantly putting yourself out there. You're putting your ego on the line against another human being, assuming this is singles. So, you got to understand that that's what really separates a good athlete from a great athlete. No matter what level you're at, is are you willing to do anything possible to win, match point, or to convert a break point chance. So there's no simple answer to that, unfortunately. It's just going out there and playing as many match situations with a decent amount of pressure as possible. Don't get me wrong, there are people out there that are naturally better adept to handling pressure, and those people have a gift. And you don't see that not just in sports, you see that especially in the sales industry, and people that are C-level executives, like director levels, VP levels, CIOs, CTOs. So it's something you're gonna have to deal with, unfortunately. And everybody deals with it differently. So that's a hard question to answer. It is Sid Rajan. I am stringing for a family friend of mine. I'm stringing, I think it's a Pure Drive. Let me see. I don't know if you could see this. Might lose a little bit of focus. It's the Pure Drive Team. So it's not the 2018 Pure Drive, it's the lighter version. It's the team version. Slash oh 01, you're asking how's the ISO speed baseline control with tension loss. Personally, I haven't felt the tension loss be worse off than any regular polyester slash oh 01. But it's because right around the time it loses tension, for me, the strings typically break because of the way I play tennis and how often I play tennis. But I did hear from other people that are on my YouTube channel and the people from the comment section below, especially with the ISO speed baseline control, which I did review in depth, that it does lose tension slightly quicker than the other polyesters. But even with that, I still think it's better. If it's the same, if not even better tension maintenance than the RPM Blast, because the RPM Blast does die fairly quickly, but it's also 8.5 times cheaper. So hopefully I answered your question. Yeah, Sid Rajan. So you're asking if you should switch the pure drives. I mean, 2012 tennis rackets, especially if you play often, there's going to be internal cracks no matter what. That's not necessarily manufacturing fault. You could argue it, but I'm not going to say it is because, regular use, there's regular wear and tear. I would say, yeah, upgrade 2012 to the 2020 or the 2021 version for pure drives. There's going to be significant upgrades, so I would go ahead and at least demo. I wouldn't say buy outright, but at least demo some rackets, especially if one cracks in the throat. Christian, you're asking if I've always used Yonex rackets. No, I'm not loyal to any brand. I do like Yonex frames. Obviously, I did review the Yonex V-Core 95 2021 version. Fairly happy with it, minus the idea of lacking a little bit of bite from the string bed. But I did play test it with Yonex Polytour Pro. I'm not going to switch to it, but I'm still going to try and demo the Yonex E-Zone Tour 98 that I'm trying to get a hand on so I could demo and review the Yonex E-Zone 98 for you guys. Apparently it's a very popular racket. By the way, I was very, very surprised and happy at how receptive the whole YouTube community was and how receptive you guys were to my very first racket review of the Yonex V-Core 95, the newest version. A lot of people on the comment section said they love how in-depth it was, and they found it to be a better review, arguably the best in-depth review of that racket, even compared to the other tennis channels out there. And they've done a good job, but apparently a lot of people have said really positive things about the way I handled that review, which was my very first time. So I'm very happy with that. David Hockett, you're asking how I feel the Midwest Sports customer service is out of the big three, meaning Midwest Sports, Tennis Express, and Tennis Warehouse. To be honest, I know it was based on that kind of like journalistic video I released yesterday, which was, holy cow. I got a lot of flack from it. That's fine, but mostly it was positive. I did miss a few things, and that's okay. The Midwest Sports guy, I totally forgot his name, but he eventually subscribed to me, or at least he said so. He was really cool. To be honest, the only bad experience I've ever had customer service-wise was actually Tennis Express. So I'm not lying, I'm not BSing when I said that Tennis Warehouse has always been fairly positive in every interaction I've had with Tennis Warehouse. So, when if they send me something wrong, which they rarely do, they make it up to me as a consumer, and I'm pretty happy with the way they handle things. So, I'm not saying Tennis Warehouse is bad. I just didn't like the way Tennis Warehouse presented that type of MSRP for the Yonex tennis rackets. And apparently, they're actually fixing it right now, which is fantastic. I've gotten messages from Tennis Warehouse about, them getting rid of that MSRP crossout text. But that's the North American Tennis Warehouse. I'm getting people in the comments section of that YouTube video saying they want the exact same thing in the Tennis Warehouse Europe because there's the cross-out MSRP text on Yonex rackets there as well. So I'm hoping that they change it too. But it's just really cool that I was able to bring about change for you guys as basically a 30-year-old just living in Wisconsin and nowhere near a professional tennis player. That's awesome. Daniel, you're asking if the E-Zone 98 is arm friendly. I'm actually starting to get a little bit of tennis elbow issues So Nick Naris, this also, feeds into your question. There's something with the new line of the E zones that I just can't put my hand on. I know it's a little bit stiffer. So I'm experimenting with a few things. I'm not saying they're bad rackets, but something did happen with my arm with the most recent line of the E-Zone 98s, the 2020 version. So it's something I'm definitely looking into. I just can't, I can't like vocalize it in a logical way. It's something I still got to tinker around with and think about and analyze. Abi, you're asking about the next couple of strings I'm going to review. Believe it or not, there actually was a tie between the Pros Pro Interceptor and the T1's Black Knight. It had 49 votes each on my Instagram. So later on in the stream, I'm going to have you guys be the tiebreak. So be on the lookout for that in a second. Yeah, David Hockett. It was taken down, I believe, about 4 hours ago. So I'm happy that they changed. It's just the Tennis Warehouse Europe, they still have that. What's up, Bilal? The Young Curious, apparently Robin Soderling dropped off of the tour because I think he had a really bad case of mono, which is that mouth disease, and he just could never recover even after apparently recovering. But he did, I believe he had physical health issues, which does obviously feed into the mental as well. Was that really dark? Man. Oh, there it is. That was weird. It was really dark for a moment. Oh, duh. One. An at-home tennis training video, Joseph GDB. Haven't thought of it yet. Haven't thought of it yet. Yeah, A-Bins is just the background. Don't worry about that. The AI and the DR, from what the chairman is saying, the AI and DR version were the best Yonex frames to be released in recent memory. So yeah, if you guys have an AI or DR version of E-Zones, keep it. Yeah, I've always wondered about Soderling. He's kind of an enigmatic character. He wasn't really well liked on the tour, but you know, he had big weapons on clay, and you'd think that because of his massive forehand, how flat it was, and he doesn't move well at all, you'd think that he would be bad on clay, but he was able to unload on his forehand on clay. Slash 01, I mean, you're always going to lose tension on the very last string before you knot it. It's just naturally going to happen. But you want to do your best to prevent it. The best way I could describe it is you could either increase the tension of that last pull by about 10% if you want to. And you can safeguard it as well by, let's see, clamping the clamp like as close to the racket as possible. But there is going to be some natural tension loss. It's just the way the physics works. What do you mean Slash 01 by swivel clamps versus rails? Nick Naris, I'm not a member of the US RSA. I'm assuming that is United States Racket Stringer Association. I'm not a part of that. Rainier Tennis, I believe the player court was very popular about a year or so ago. By popular, I mean I saw a lot of advertisements for it. I still see ads on it on Instagram and other social media sites on the internet, but not nearly as much anymore. Acebins, that is a very long question because I do switch rackets fairly often. So, Acebins, what you can do is you could leave that question in my Discord, and I'll answer that in better detail in my weekly Q&A that I publish on Saturday mornings if you'd like. What's up, potato salad? Yeah, I string rackets for basically anyone that is within the Milwaukee area. So yeah, I mean, DM me if you're around the area. I'd be more than happy to string it for you. If you have your own strings, it's only $10. It's not a problem at all. So yeah, just DM me. My email is in the About page of my YouTube channel. Dijon, I did not watch the Pierre Fanini match. Did Pierre pull a Zverev? Did he really? I gotta see the highlights of that. Aaron Johnson, I've never played with a Regna before. Wasn't that like one of the rare, like, super expensive Yonex frames from like a year and a half ago? Oh! Hey, Hilo. I'm glad that your knots are better now because of my vid. I'm glad I could help. Abby, I have never used RPM power, but that's definitely on my list to demo, to review and play test and demo. So don't worry, it's in my backlog. Aaron, that Regna looks sexy, but I think it was like an extra $100. I couldn't justify it. Yeah, potato salad. Yeah, that's gonna be an issue. What strings and racket do I hate to okay. So A's bins, I absolutely hate stringing this one specific string. It's called Solinco barbed wire. It's an absolute nightmare. It's like twisted, it's rough, and it's like all shaped at the same time. It's an absolute nightmare to string. It takes me an extra like 50% on the crosses because I don't want to notch it too much. And it like naturally twists by itself, which is really messed up. And any Prince racket that has like holes in it, not the Prince Phantoms, those are actually pretty damn good rackets. But I'm talking about like the Speedport or the O3 technology. Those are, ask any stringer. It's a freaking nightmare. It's so bad. I hate Prince for doing that. Yeah, Aaron Johnson, I did see them on Tennis Warehouse, so that's why I was like, yeah, that does sound familiar. What's up, Karen? How have you been hitting? Stefan Rohavian, you're asking if my clamps on the crosses move when the clamps on the main don't. No, that's you might want to check your clamp. That might be an issue. That's not supposed to happen, Stefan. Describe Yonex, Babolat, Wilson, Head, Prince, Dunlop in one word. Yonex. Apparently, if you're a WTA player and you use Yonex, you are at least a 9 out of 10, if not a borderline supermodel. Babolat, if you use it, you're a tool. Wilson, you are boring. Head, you're old. Prince, you're very old. Dunlop, edgy boy. Is that better? Yeah, Daniel, a lot of people say they like coming out here with the lo-fi music and asking me questions because it does kind of give that like tennis shop, pro tennis shop kind of feel. So it's it's a vibe apparently I was going for, and I am doing a pretty good job on it. So, all right, why not? Oh, A's Bins, yeah, they should have named it the Polytour Wrecked, as Karen said. That would be freaking, oh my god. Oh, A's Bins, you mean the Polytour Rev, right? Not the Rex. I do have a packet of the Polytour Rev, so that is definitely up there for me to string. Surge T, you're asking if this is the Gamma string machine with a Wise tension head. Yes, it is. It is a Gamma progression 2, and I do the Wise tension head instead of the crank. Absolutely. I don't know where I'll be watching the Super Bowl. My girlfriend works as a bartender in a bar in downtown Milwaukee, so I might head over there. Skyry Scalibur, you're asking if the Prince Neos 1000 machine with no tools worth 800 used. Is it worth it? To be honest, I don't know. You really should be. I mean, it's a good. It sounds like a good bargain buy. But you know, obviously, I'm hoping that the string machine isn't too badly used up. So you know, obviously, I can't answer that without taking a look at what it is. Yeah, Karen, the mug is absolute fire. I love it. What's up, Codisme? Dustin Brown, by far. Just because of his hair. He's got a better hairline than Nadal. Dejan Karius. So David Chang, you're asking how much my machine's worth. So I bought the Gamma Progression 2, right, which is a 6-point standing machine, and originally it was a crank. I bought it from a former student of mine for about, I think, $400. And then about a year and a half later, I bought the Wise Tension Head tensioner, and that was about $600 I bought on Tennis Warehouse. So all in all, it's $1,000 I invested, but I made my money back very quickly, in case you haven't noticed. What multi-filament strings are durable, Heath Dorn? Let's see. The Prince Synthetic Gut with Duraflex is a very good, somewhat long-lasting synthetic gut. If you want something a little bit softer but not nearly as durable, the Wilson Sensation is also a decent option. It's not super expensive. It's a little bit more expensive than the Prince Synthetic Gut with Duraflex. So guys, this poll, right, that I'm gonna share in chat. This poll is you guys being the tiebreak because Pros Pro Interceptor and T1 Black Knight both had 49 votes on my Instagram. So I'll be restringing my playtest racket with whatever you guys vote on. I'll put a link in the chat and I'll pin it to the top. So please vote. So Rainier Tennis, you're asking if I got my drone to hover on the essential tennis court with that over-the-head shot for Christian. Answer is yes. However, it was not a GPS hover because it was indoors, and the software in the drone knew that, so I had to do it manually. I wanted to do a few more shots with kind of like the preset programs that the DJI Mavic 2 Pro, my drone, does have presets. Ugh, this is disgusting. But because it was detecting that it was indoors, which is actually pretty cool that it could detect it that well, I was not able to do a GPS hover. It wasn't able to locate a GPS because obviously there was a roof over my head. Yeah, Skyry, I mean, pass. It's a buyer's market for the most part, so if you think it's the best to pass, then yeah, just wait on another one or, save some money and buy a new one. Obviously, I'm hoping that you're going to be stringing the rest of your tennis career so you could service your tennis community around you and obviously be a better consumer. Obviously, you took the first step by being on this stream and talking with other people as well. So, yeah, good for you. Ooh, man, that grip was bothering me. There we go. So apparently, I'll be playtesting the Pros Pro Interceptor. That's what you guys voted on. And yes, Rainier Tennis, the Pure Drive is a baseball bat. But, let's see, that racket belongs to a family friend of mine. The family member that uses it is, I believe, a 7th grade girl. So, obviously it's fine. She needs a little bit more power. Funny enough, she's probably going to win state in her high school class. Probably 2 years out of her 4 years. That's my guess. I coach her part-time as well. Also, it's just a family friend of mine. I really like this lens better than the other one. There we go. Oh, Skyry, that was you? I have not yet. My DMs have been flooding like crazy. Not to flex or anything, but I've been pretty busy, so I will get around to it, I promise. And, Saria, if you're still on the stream, I still got to set up the logistics of, playing tennis with you right before my sectionals tournament in Ohio. So it's gonna be, I just need some time. Everything's been going crazy lately because my YouTube's been taking off. whatever works for him. I mean, I think he uses an L1, a 4 1/8 grip. So if he uses 2 over grips, that's probably what he's comfortable with, and that's best for him. So, I'm not here to criticize, the setup of a pro. I mean, he's Nadal. He's one of the greatest tennis players of all time. So who am I to criticize him? So it's yeah, it's it works for him. I've only seen like one other person do it that I've met in real life. You guys want to hear the Tennis Warehouse thing they got back to me on? Thank you for the heads up on the MSRP pricing that we listed on the Yonex rackets. To prevent any unintended confusion, it has been removed. So, good for you, Tennis Warehouse. I'm happy. Yonex provides us with the MSRP pricing, that we list on our website, and there tends to be higher than other brands. I agree. I mean, it's fine, but it still doesn't, in my opinion, I still don't think it's good practice. We plan to discuss this with them during our next meeting, as we definitely don't want to be misleading your TW staff. See, like, here's the thing. I do love Tennis Warehouse. I wanted to call this out because what people don't understand, and this can get a little bit, you can apply this at any part of your life, right? You can love something and still be critical of that one thing. So, this is good. Like, people are going to say, oh, why do you hate Tennis Warehouse? I don't hate Tennis Warehouse. I love them. I even said in the video, I love Tennis Warehouse. I'm just saying it would be better if they didn't have this type of marketing on their website. And that's why I did it. It's not because I'm on a hate parade. One, I want you guys to be well-informed consumers, which most of you are based on the comments. That's perfectly fine. But I also wanted Tennis Warehouse to change it, and they have. So good for them, and I'm happy. I mean, I was able to not only inform you guys, but to make a good argument of why this is not good for consumers. So I'm glad that Tennis Warehouse is taking those steps. Super Saiyan hair, I just had to get rid of it. It was like growing with the roots. It's getting bad. Andrew Miller, I use the eZone 98 2020 version, and I guess as of now, I'm switching between strings, but the Solinco Hyper G 16 gauge at 55 pounds, strung in a 2-piece. Yeah. Karen, exactly. You, in my opinion, if you're not criticizing something you love, then I personally believe you're blind. You can and you should criticize something you love. Because if they're able to change it or like at least adjust, a behavior or a pattern or a certain thing, then you're going to love that thing even more if they're able to be receptive to that feedback. The real question is... No, Rainier Tennis, you can't love pure garbage. So, no on the Olive Garden thing. Abi, you're asking if I started to make money off YouTube. Yeah, I've made money off YouTube ever since, I believe, mid-December of 2020. I reached certain metrics to be monetized. So for the people that don't have YouTube Premium, there are advertisements when you watch my channel content. So hopefully that answers that question. Samuel Yoon, you're asking if I've used the eZone 98 Tour. I have not yet, but I believe that's either going to be my very next racket review or very, very close, because I have a friend that is a Yonex brand ambassador, and he lived in Madison. I live near Milwaukee, so me and him get together, about once, hopefully more than once a month to play tennis at the Essential Tennis Court, which Ian has been grateful for me to be able to use for free for hitting sessions. So that's definitely in the works. Absolutely in the works. So let's take a look at the Yonex strings, because apparently they have that cross-out stuff too. Yeah, they do for some, not all. But the thing is, I have to compare this $16 asking price to something major like a Tennis Warehouse, or not a Tennis Warehouse, to like Midwest Sports or Tennis Express. Because this could actually truly be a discount. I don't know. I'm assuming it's not, because $19 for a packet, those better be damn near perfect polyesters, because that is expensive. Because if you were to break that down, so $19 times 16, because there are 16, actually technically 16.5, there's 16 full packets in a reel of 6.6 or 660 feet reel, which is a full reel. So a full reel of the Poly Tour Pro 18 gauge, that's really, really thin, over $300. So this might be the same thing that they're doing the Yonex tennis rackets. A reasonable price for tennis strings, in my opinion, is like $10 a packet for a good polyester, in my opinion. That's reasonable, in my opinion. Polytour Clapper, $69,000 per reel. What's up, Chris Kim? How you doing, my man? Let's check out Tennis Warehouse Europe. Oh, man, this is different. Okay. Oh, they hide the pricing, huh? Oh, VCore 100 limited. That's pretty cool. Let's say I want English language, but I live in Spain because I'm a clay quarter. Oh, here we go. Huh. They do it on Tennis Warehouse Europe. Yeah, Rainier Tennis with, you know, Yonex strings being good, because when Curious was, they last the entire life of the racket. Well, unfortunately, the entire life of the racket is like a set and like 2 bad line calls from the line judge. Then the racket's done. Yeah, Chairman. I mean, that's why I'm kind of like, I'm always will be a pro consumer channel. So that's why I'm investing in why? Like, why is this so damn expensive? What does harikari mean? Oh, okay. A little dark, but okay, we'll go with it. Chris Kim, you're asking how I feel about Pro string machines. I never have strung or even seen in person the Pro string machine. Oh. Let's check this out. That's a nice looking drop weight. Okay. Is this German? I think it's German because it sounds like this website is yelling at me. This seems pretty similar to mine. I like the design. I like how the clamp is like curved. It's not like a straight line like most. And it's a 6 point, so that's good. I clean the clamps about once a year on my machine because, you know, plastic and stuff and dirt sometimes get into there and tennis ball fuzz. Let's see. I just don't like, in all honesty, like these seem well built just from looking at it. You see this electric part? It seems way too big. What's up, bedroom punk? The actual like tensioner, it's way too thick. Way too thick. So, I mean, it looks solid, right? Looks like it's a good piece of metal. And looks and it's reasonably priced in my opinion. But again, if I were you guys, right, and you're looking at the Pros Pro, what I would do is I would buy this. What the hell's the difference? Stand foot. Pros Pro. I would buy either this Pros Pro Comet with stand foot or the Pros Pro Pioneer Plus, and then buy the electric head tensioner that I use. And then buy this. Because it's not bulky, and this is a great piece of equipment. Because let's do the math, right? So, 492 euros. I have no idea what that translates to American dollars because I'm American and I'm apparently very ignorant. So, this Pros Pro, right? Standing crank is 400. Okay. So 500 euros, okay? 500 euros for the Wise tensioner, 625. Oh, went up by about 25 bucks. Okay, not bad. So if you buy this 492, buy the tensioner for 500 separately, it's still gonna be, it's about the same. Yeah. It's about the same. It's just, I'm not a big fan of how thick this thing is. It's obnoxious. It's like when you're driving down Main Street in your hometown and some guy in a Dodge Ram that has beefed up his tires and elevated it even more and has a very borderline offensive political sticker in the back, and every time the green light goes, he just gasses it and like all this diesel fuel just kicks up in like a puppy's face or something. It's disgusting. GLA, who taught me how to string rackets? One of my former pros, who I would argue is probably the best coach, one of the best coaches I've had in my lifetime as a junior. He taught me how to string a racket. You know, God bless his. He's still alive, but like, you know, God bless his soul, because he didn't need to do that. I'm glad he did. Karen, the best life experiences I've ever had came from things coming from a Ziploc bag. So, by that standard, that's probably the best string of all time. Ah, sorry, Dad Boy. I have not tried Angel rackets or Angel strings, but I definitely need to. Heard very good things about them. So my World of Warcraft raid is starting 8 minutes ago. So if you guys have any questions, please leave a comment down in the section below. If you haven't already, hit like and subscribe for more original crazy tennis content that I upload on the regular. I'll have the Vocal V-Square review up by hopefully tomorrow, depending on how busy I am, but at the latest Thursday night or late afternoon. I still have to write the script. I know exactly what I need to write down. I just need to write down the script to make it more professional for you guys. So yeah, if you guys have any questions, again, hop in my Discord. My Q&A stuff I answer on Friday and release it on Saturday. The Q&A has been very in-depth. The question actually is. So as always, guys, love you very much and see you on the court soon. Happy hitting.